Hi, welcome back to Movies Reloaded. Today we have a great recapped movie for you, so sit back and relax and enjoy the film. Yoshiro Kamigawa, a high school student, plays the lead in the film. He drifts around aimlessly for the majority of the day and does okay in school. In terms of popularity, almost every girl in Yoshiro's school ignores him because they think he's a nerd. But all that changes one day. Yoshiro continues to the climax while fantasizing about various women. Yoshiro is fixated on finding the girl of his destiny, so he finds it difficult to settle on just one. In a hospital, he had already met that girl when they were still in their mother's wombs. Telepathically communicating with one another, they agreed to meet up soon and exchanged secret codes through a special jingle. Now, fragments of images of his soulmate enter his head. When Yoshiro notices her waving at him, they kiss on their toes. A rare cosmic occurrence occurs in space, and a shaft of light shines on Yoshiro as he is about to reach his climax in the present while thinking of her. Despite being startled, he doesn't give it much thought. Miyuko Hirano, a classmate of Yoshiro's, is also struck by the strange light because she is dreaming about having coitus. The following morning, Yoshiro eats breakfast with his mother and her boyfriend and discovers that he can strangely hear their inner thoughts. Yoshiro abandons his breakfast and leaves for school while still being perplexed by his mother and her boyfriend's lewd and lascivious thoughts. He is once more inundated with everyone's inner thoughts at school. While lecturing female students for wearing short skirts, he telepathically hears his teacher admit to herself that she wants to be the hottest female in the school. Soon after, Yoshiro's best friend shows up, and the two boys marvel as a stunning woman named Sai shows up. Yoshiro is immediately enamored by Sai, a new student, because of her beauty. Sai's skirt is abruptly lifted by a gust of wind, exposing her underwear. Yoshiro and his male friend experience an immediate and obvious hard-on as a result. As she observes it from a nearby vantage point, Miyuko decides to humiliate the two boys. Yoshiro is obviously incensed by this, so he begins criticizing her in his head. He is shocked to learn that Miyuko is also able to read people's minds when she telepathically corrects him. The instructor introduces Sai to the class. Yoshiro swoons over her once more, and he begins to wonder if Sai is the woman who will fulfill his destiny. The action then shifts to Professor Asami of Tokyo University and his assistant, Misakiyama, talking about the town's alleged psychic activity. It turns out that Professor Asami has been studying extrasensory perception, or ESP, for a while, which has made him a laughingstock among his peers. A confused Yoshiro purchases a book about ESP, which covers subjects like telepathy, telekinesis, teleportation, and clairvoyance. In another location after school, Yoshiro later stops by to visit Teru, a lewd older male friend, on his way home. Teru is a restaurant owner who enjoys contemplating coitus in his free time. He demonstrates adult toys to Yoshiro and reveals his telekinetic ability, which allows him to lift objects without actually touching them. Strangely, Teru's ability is restricted to only sexual objects. The following day, Yoshiro makes the decision to talk to Sai, but on the way, he learns from a fellow student named Inomoto that he has plans to strip off in front of Sai and other girls. Yoshiro tries to stop him, but surprisingly Inomoto can teleport from one location to another. His plan to expose himself by going right into the girls' locker room fails miserably. The new psychics are then confronted by Professor Asami and Misakiyama, who have gathered them at his residence. It becomes clear during the procedure that Misakiyama also possesses an odd psychic ability. She possesses the ability to predict the future for anyone who glances at her bra thanks to her precognitive abilities. Yoshiro, Teru, Inomoto, Miyuko, and another spooky student named Yabe are among the new psychics. Yabe is shown to be clairvoyant, which endows him with the power to see through objects. Professor Asami soon makes an introduction and explains that he has been studying ESP for some time. He also discloses how Yoshiro and the others acquired their powers as a result of a cosmic occurrence. They discover that they are not the first to develop ESP. In Duluth, Minnesota, 200 years ago, there was another psychic awakening. Some people were endowed with these abilities when certain planetary alignments caused cosmic rays to strike the city. Similar cosmic rays struck Japan this time. Yoshiro and other people received the ESP because they met certain requirements. They have never had coitus, so they are virgins first. Second, they were all awakened when the rays reached the town. Third, they realized their strength. According to Asami, he has been working with his research group to find a way to use this energy from space for good. He also reveals that other evil psychics killed the psychics from the American town. This implies that there are other psychics in this community as well, and they may misuse their abilities. Asami advises the group to defend their town against Duluth's demise. It is then revealed that Sai is Professor Asami's daughter as she emerges from the restroom. The scene then shifts to the residence of Akiko Kamiya, a ferry captain who has also developed psychic abilities. She recently came out as a lesbian, and now she's looking for a partner. She has started abusing her power to freeze other girls and take advantage of them, though, because everyone ignores her. Someone dumped tens of thousands of adult dolls in Yoshiro's high school later that evening. Professor Asami, Miss Akiyama, and a few detectives show up on the scene right away. Asami discovers after careful examination that the dolls have been laced with an aphrodisiac. In order to prevent Yoshiro and the others from freaking out, he takes a sample of the drug and gives Miss Akiyama the order to keep the information from them. Yoshiro's school welcomes a new teacher the following day. She goes by the name Mia Polnareff and is Japanese American. Miss Polnareff, who is very sex-positive, makes a passionate speech to the students during her first encounter with them. People have lost hope, according to her, and the earth is in a crisis. So everyone should be erotic and embrace love. Later, Yoshiro is seen gazing at Sai, and Polnareff notices this. She goes over to him and covers his head. She turns out to have read Yoshiro's memory, proclaiming that she is the girl who will fulfill his destiny, and then she and her two scantily clad female assistants leave. It transpires that Polnareff is also psychic. Professor Asami comes to the conclusion that the substance is not from Earth while examining the sample taken from the adult doll. He worries that it might be an evil psychic scheme. The next scene takes place at psychic lesbian Akiko's home, where a sizable number of high school girls suddenly appear as if under some sort of spell. They board Akiko's ferry and set out on their journey. Akiko is later seen standing by the river and blowing an enigmatic powder over the entire town. Teru goes to school with Yoshiro and Miyuko the following day after learning about Miss Polnareff's erotic tendencies. They are shocked to see that every student is dressed scantily. Soon after, Miss Polnareff approaches the group and recognizes the psychic abilities of Teru and Miyuko. The entire town, not just the high school students, appears to be under some sort of spell because everyone is moving around in only their underwear. Then, at the city hall, a bunch of female cosplayers kidnap a number of unarmed citizens. They threaten to harm the hostages unless the mayor of the city complies with all of their demands. Some of their demands include the legalization of nudist beaches, the promotion of the adult industry, and the abolition of love hotels. As soon as they arrive, Professor Asami and Miss Polnareff demand to speak with the protesters' leader. Just then, Akiko moves forward and admits that she is the one behind everything. She also reveals that she has psychic abilities and launches into a tirade against selfish people. She then gives her girls the order to attack Asami and the others. Akiko's army is instantly transformed into lifeless adult dolls when a mysterious woman casts a spell on them. Akiko is startled and leaves the area right away. The mysterious woman also leaves without saying a word as everyone tries to comprehend what just happened. After school, Sai and her friends pass Akiko's house without realizing the danger that is nearby. The atmosphere of the house freaks out Sai's friends, who flee, but Akiko succeeds in capturing Sai. She later chooses Miyuko as her victim as well. The town quickly gets out of control. Everyone has all of a sudden developed an obsession with coitus and is constantly thinking evil. Every male in town, with the exception of Teru, has a constant hard-on because of the bikini-clad women. He is embarrassed because he can't get it up, but Miss Polnareff reassures him by saying that a man's value isn't just in his manhood. Next, Sai calls Yoshiro and asks them to meet in a garden. Yoshiro sees Sai approach him with her long, attractive legs while singing the jingle and waving her hands, exactly like in his dream. Before leaning in for a kiss on her toe and asking him for sex, she thanks him for helping her father with his ESP research. Yoshiro is surprised because he didn't anticipate Sai to be so outspoken. To Yoshiro's horror, the mysterious woman from earlier in the film reappears and transforms Sai into an adult doll. When Professor Asami and the others arrive on the scene, the woman identifies herself as Duluth psychic Julie Babcock. She reveals that some psychics fled into hiding after the Duluth massacre, and some of them survived. Julie is a progenitor of those mediums. She traveled all the way to Japan in order to stop a repeat of the disaster that struck her hometown. Detective finds Akiko's home in the interim and discovers that she has been stealing neighborhood girls. Professor Asami is informed of the situation, and she immediately devises a plan. While the others watch from hiding, he sends Yoshiro, who is dressed as a girl, to entice the kidnapper toward him. Sadly, Akiko sees Miss Akiyama hiding behind a pole and hypnotizes her. However, the psychic woman reads her future by baring her bra before she can. Miss Akiyama then reveals that she is moving in the direction of the city hall as Akiko immediately flees. Without wasting any time, Professor Asami and his team rush to the city hall. where they find all of the abducted girls unconscious. In the hallway, they also come across several girls who are all claiming to be Xray. They are all clones, says the spooky psychic Ye, abusing his clairvoyance. Akiko finally makes an appearance after some time with her army of scantily dressed girls, but Julie immediately transforms some of them into dolls. After ordering more girls to attack Yoshiro and others in a fit of rage, Akiko flees. Miss Polnareff snatches Yoshiro and carries him to safety as the group deals with the army of girls. Yoshiro follows her in blind faith, but she drags him to the stage and imprisons him there. Then Miss Polnareff pulls back the drapes to reveal 3 life-size pregnant women cutouts. It turns out that she had Yoshiro imprisoned inside the cutout's womb. Then it is revealed that the other 2 cutouts' wombs are where Xray and Miyuko have been imprisoned. Yoshiro learns of this and talks to the girls, who are upset about their predicament. Miyuko begins singing the unique jingle to soothe herself. Yoshiro is shocked when he finally understands that Miyuko is the girl of his destiny. She had promised to meet him after giving birth, he tells her. The 2 start to cry with joy at this point, and Yoshiro recognizes Miyuko from the dream sequence as she approaches him on long legs. Before they could kiss, Miss Polnareff intervened, jolting him out of his reverie. To Yoshiro's surprise, she then asserts that she taught Miyuko that song. Meanwhile, with Julie's assistance, Professor Asami and his team transform Akiko's army into dolls. Finally conceding defeat because there is nowhere else to turn, Akiko issues a warning that her master, Miss Polnareff, will exact revenge. Then Julie cleanses her soul, making it clear that Akiko was nothing more than a pawn acting as Miss Polnareff's puppet. With this knowledge, Professor Asami is able to determine that the crafty Polnareff is capable of manipulating people's memories. To suit her purposes, she deletes, rewrites, transplants, and even manipulates memories. Xray and Miyuko are ordered to leave by Miss Polnareff's henchwoman. She is attempting to approach Yoshiro when Professor Asami and others show up. Miss Polnareff claims that she is carrying out all of this to exterminate humanity from Earth when Teru questions her motivations. She despises people because they harm the environment and are greedy. Only God's chosen people will endure. Yoshiro is then identified as the chosen one by Miss Polnareff, who also declares her love for him. She also admits that because of her feelings for him, she is unable to control his memory. Julie interrupts her just then and tries to cleanse her soul, but to her shock, Polnareff has no malice in her heart. She quickly overwhelms Julie and knocks her unconscious. Miss Polnareff is attacked by the other psychics, but she easily defeats them and destroys their memories. Then, turning to Yoshiro, she begs him to accompany her and issues a death threat if he refuses. The innocent schoolboy initially objects, but when Miss Polnareff mentions that his decision will determine the fate of the planet, he agrees. She then leads him to a nursery where she has transformed herself, Xray, and Miyuko into children. In contrast to adults, Polnareff claims that she longs to once more possess the innocence of a child. Yoshiro, however, insists he would prefer to climax and have coitus as an adult rather than turning into a child. Polnareff quickly becomes repulsed by his erotic speech because she wants to be the girl of his dreams, not a plaything. She screams in pain as a result and decides to leave forever. The town returns to normal after Polnareff departs, and everyone thanks Yoshiro for making it happen. To them, he is nothing less than an assassin. When Yoshiro arrives at school the following day, he hears all the girls singing his favorite jingle. He is perplexed and wonders how everyone is aware of it. In the narration that follows the film's conclusion, it is revealed that Yoshiro's mother actually rode in a tram with a large number of pregnant women after leaving the hospital. Yoshiro telepathically connected with all the girls who were still inside her womb, making them all his soulmates as of right now. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the recap. Let us know in the comments what you thought. And while you're here, consider subscribing. We would love to have you as part of our community.